was asked that truthfully, she the one that gave birth to me. And that made her very teary. She came back home very teary. She has not witnessed deliverance before. But that evening, she asked me to stay in between. And they surrounded me. And they prayed. They said what they could say. And I tell you sincerely, that marked the turning point in my life. I came from the last in my class to the front. So I want to encourage mothers and fathers. I'm also in the academic world. I work in a school. And I've seen children that are depressed because of what their mothers told them. Tumisha in my class will tell me, I don't like my mom. I don't want to stay with her. She's always insulting me. She's always telling me I'm good for nothing. So I want to
Children that are not academically sound. Now, let us first set this in our heart. They can't all be on the same level. They can't. They can't. So as a parent, if you notice that your child, there is something we call developmental stage, right? If you notice that your child is not meeting up with the expectation of their developmental stage, sometimes you need to seek help. Apart, of course, there could be spiritual underpinnings and all of that, but sometimes it's also psychological. They might have disorders that they are dealing with, and in this part of the world, these things are not properly said to us, so we don't even know there is a problem. Instead of that, we'll go like, you know, I've spoken, I've prayed, I've this, I've that. You know, sometimes just seek help. Seek help. I don't really know. We really don't have too much of them, and that's why as Christians too, we need to rise up, right? I don't know how many child psychologists we have around, but these are things that sometimes really we need to really check what's going on in their head, their brain. Some of these things are even genetic wirings that they can't help. They want to get better, but they just can't because of some things. I pray God help us in Jesus' name. So again, please, if you need to, please seek help for your child. I'm Ajere Wanloruko Jason.
Good morning, church. My name is Adedoyin Erioluwa, and I'll be your host for the next few minutes. So, if you grew up with sisters or brothers, you know that there's just one thing or many things we usually fight about. We fight about TV remote. We fight about who mommy love most. We fight about who is at the front or maybe who is sitting at the back of the car. It's always a fight that siblings go through. And these little fights turn to big hurts. So I'm not here to judge parents, or we are not here to judge parents, but to learn and to change some things in our families. And the Bible is full of siblings. We have Cain and Abel, we have Jacob and Esau, Joseph and his brothers. But God put these stories in the Bible to help us, to teach us, and to make us learn about things that we don't understand. So I'm going to ask you 7 questions, not to embarrass you. And before I start, you are welcome. You are welcome, sir. You are welcome, ma. So I'm going to ask you 7 questions, not to embarrass you, but for parents, teachers, students, teens, children can also learn from this. So to the church, please listen with open hearts and be ready to receive, to change, and also to learn and make some other people's life better. So to start us off with the first question.
The first question you asked, what are the things they fight for? Many a times they fight for attention. You know, daddy should notice me, mommy should notice me in doing 1 or 2 things. And the worst part of my own is they are all boys. And you can understand that if they are girls now, some may calm down. But you know, fighting for power sometimes, showing themselves powers. Like someone earlier said, fighting for a position in the car is another thing they usually, in fact, till this morning, they still fought for that.
Wow.
They fight for, I want to bath first, because normally in our house, what we do is, we have 3 bedrooms, and I tend to divide them kind of sometimes. So That of our own, that is me and their mom's own, they always want to bath in that one, leaving their own distance. So that one is another part until I now made it permanent for some sets. And the reason I made it permanent is two will bath there, then one will bath in one. And why I made it permanent is one is calm, but one is always wanting to be the one ahead of every other one. So I paired them together so that they can at least be at the middle of things. So they fight for that. That age, I may not really be able to say when they started that, but I think
She said it's your younger sister. You know, immediately, I won't say hatred, but I felt somehow because I was the only girl then. So as we started growing up, I discovered my dad likes her more. So because of that, you know, she does things the way she likes in the house. When you talk of school fees too, my daddy pays her school fees first. So, you know, that gave us, in short, it gave us hatred. That when they asked her to pay school fees, we start saying, no, daddy, you have to pay hers first, not she, that we are the eldest. And my daddy was unable to balance it to an extent.
Fight.
Now, if we are going to link, link Jacob and Esau, Cain and Abel, to today's siblings, or to what is actually happening. Now, what I will say is this: as parents, now what I will say is this: as parents, now this rivalry is something that happens often in different houses or families, and this is ongoing fights. At times, you come across jealousy, you come across conflict, and this happens in between siblings. Now, bringing that of the Bible to different families now, as parents, we have to know each child. Even twins are not the same, they have different personalities. You take your time as parents to study both child, and you know, some parents, like especially mothers, have discovered that in that most mothers, you know, pick interest in some of their child or children than others, which shouldn't be. Now, from the drama we just watched, we could see what was portrayed there. A child might be different from the second one, but as parents, you have to, you know, study, know each child's strengths and their weakness. You know where to come in, you know where to settle things amicably when fight comes in between them. Now, let me cite that of Jacob and Esau. The mother picks more interest in Jacob, now going with with our friends and doing what now going with our friends and doing what bullying our brother together with our. So as parents, I think we should be very, very careful to work on that and make sure is the paramount thing among our siblings.
Yes, ma. Thank you very much, ma. Sir, do you have anything to say?
I just want to add this, that sibling rivalry is not a sin. It is normal in families, but your ability to manage it makes it detrimental to the lives of the children. Among children, it is normal for them to want to fight for attention, want to fight for a position, but your capability, your ability to manage them goes a long way, and that brings us to the area of Jacob and Esau. You can see that the inability of the parents to manage it leads to a lot of things. I said earlier, it goes a long way to affect them. What we say to our children goes a long way. In fact, while I got this topic last week, I and my wife was just discussing it, and we were just giving examples, different examples in our family, in my family, how our dad would treat one more than the other, how my mom would treat one and the other, and you can see after how many years it's still lingering in our head. So many a times what we say to these children goes a long way in affecting their, their, in fact, their activities. Even among their mates in schools, you see many a times it weakens their confidence because of words they are telling, like mommy twins said just now. Imagine a child telling the teacher that I don't want to stay with.
From what he has said. Okay. So, to the next question. As a parent, is it hard to spend the same amount of time with each child? Do some kids just naturally need you the more?
Now, as I have earlier said, as parents, we should try and study each child. There are some child that are outspoken, some are reserved. Now, for those that are reserved, I think as a parent, you should take more time, sit them down, talk to them, let them know their weaknesses, let them know their strengths. Then when you can come in as a parent, you try and encourage where he or she is not doing well, maybe in academics aspects. He or she might be lagging behind, maybe in mathematics. Now you can have two children or more than even two at home. Now some might be good in mathematics and some might be good in other subjects. Like for those that are not that too good in mathematics, you can sit that child down, encourage that child, tell that child you can do it. You put that sister or brother through. Now at the same, you put that sister or brother through. Now at the same time, this also happens when he or she feels, now I know mathematics, my younger one doesn't know mathematics. That ego too can be there. You understand? At times as a parent, when you ask that child, okay, go meet your elder brother for this, mommy, I don't have time. Or maybe you ask now, what is 10 times 10? And that one was unable to, give you the answer. Now you are wasting my time. Between few minutes, you should be able to say this. It shouldn't be. As a mother or as a father, to tell that one that knows more, calm down, put her through carefully. And I think with